Welcome to FilAmTV Network's Pilipinas Update. I'm Esmeralda Padilla-Gould, coming to you from our bustling headquarters in Las Vegas, the heart of FilAmTV Network. Join us as we embark on the exciting journey to the Philippines with Ed Abalos, delivering the latest updates straight to you. Get ready for an insightful report that delves into the essence of unfolding stories across the Philippines.
Good evening, I'm Ed Abalos and this is the Pilipinas Update, bringing you the weekend news from the Philippines. Tonight's news: House panel to summon former President Rodrigo Duterte to summon to drug war probe. The House Human Rights Committee on Tuesday approved a motion to invite former President Rodrigo Duterte to its investigation of drug war. If the panel pushes through with its invitation, this will mark the first time that any legislative body has summoned the former chief executive over his so-called war on drugs. During Tuesday's hearing, the panel also approved motions to invite former Senator Leila De Lima and Senator Ronald de la Rosa, former chief of the Philippines National Police and architect of Duterte's violent anti-illegal drugs campaign. This marks a departure from Abante's statement during the first House drug war hearing, where he said that he would exclude Duterte and de la Rosa from the investigation out of courtesy. In the last three hearings, victim families recounted similar instances of government inactions and reluctance to cooperate in their quest for justice, stories that have already been surfaced by human rights groups and the media years prior. The ICC considered the court of last resort for the countries willing or unavailable to prosecute offenders, is investigating the alleged crime against humanity committed under drug war waged by Duterte during this term as a president. And earlier, Davao City Mayor. The probe covers the period from 2011 to 2019, when the Philippines was still a signatory to the Rome Statute, the treaty that established in the ICC. Official figures put deaths from Duterte's anti-narcotics campaign of more than 6,000, but estimates from human rights groups peg the actual numbers of fatalities at least 30,000. A disinformation expert urged a Senate committee on Tuesday to investigate the subcontractors from the Philippines helped craft the messages that were used in the Pentagon's alleged anti-vaccination campaign against China during the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, disinformation researchers Jonathan Ong pointed out that the recent Reuters report that detailed the covert influence operation by the United States military cited examples of posts that were translated into local languages, including Filipino. We need to ask, therefore, if there's a possibly contractors enlisted by U.S. military. Who are they and where they located? Ong said. The Reuters investigation said that the Pentagon's secret campaign against China took place from the 2020 to 2021 and involved the use of 300 fake social media accounts that impersonated Filipino to spread fears of China-made vaccines. Most of the accounts were created in the summer of 2020 and spread the hashtag China ang virus, which means China is a virus. The accounts distributed content that aim-maligned Sinovac vaccines developed by Chinese pharmaceutical firm Sinovac Biotech, as well as the health supplies sent by China, according to the Reuters reports, which cited former U.S. officials familiar with the operations. Ong said that the fake accounts appeared to use insider jokes and cultural knowledges that would resonate with the local citizens and the communities in the Philippines and other targeted countries. These posts have since been taken down from or by according to the Reuters report. It is important for us to track down potential in-country collaborators responsible for the translation and dissemination of this campaign, Ong said.
Don't waste your money on CBD. Now hold on, don't turn the video off. If you're already taking CBD, good for you. You're on a good path, but there's a much better way. If you're thinking, should I try CBD? Let me answer a couple of questions that might help you make the decision to even try a CBD product. First of all, let's answer the question, what is CBD and where does it come from? CBD is cannabidiol. It's called a cannabinoid, and it's found naturally in many different plants. In fact, as you see here in the Cannabicae family, there's hops, sandalwood, hackberry, of course, hemp, even marijuana, but we're not talking here about marijuana. In fact, we're going to be talking about hemp. As I started to mention, CBD can be found in hemp, in rather high levels, as a matter of fact. But here's the problem. CBD is not the only cannabinoid you can find in hemp. Hemp contains over 100 different cannabinoids. In fact, in the Cannabicae family, hemp contains the highest level of cannabinoids of any plant, which is why it's the most popular source for CBD. But as I mentioned, CBD is only one of the cannabinoids that you can find in hemp. Hemp contains high levels also of CBC, CBG, and CBN. So why would we want CBC, CBD, CBG, and CBN? Well, as we look at the benefits here from CBD alone, you can see these benefits are great. I mean, who wouldn't want these benefits, right? But let's look at the benefits you can get from CBC. You see, they compound with CBD and offer yet even more. But then let's also now look at CBG. CBG has even more benefits. So naturally, anybody looking for the maximum benefit you can derive from hemp would want CBC, CBG, and CBD. But don't stop there. CBN also has fantastic benefits. So if you're looking for a great hemp product and you're contemplating trying a CBD product, don't just buy CBD. And please, don't buy that cheap gas station grocery store stuff. It's just that, cheap, and it won't benefit you at all. But if you can get a high grade, medical grade in fact, hemp product that contains CBC, CBD, CBG, and CBN, now you are unleashing the full power of your body that can only happen if you have all four of these cannabinoids in your body. If you're taking CBD, you're getting roughly 1/4 of the benefit that hemp can give you. Well, fourth is better than nothing, I suppose, but when you want 100% of all the benefits that hemp can give you, that is what happens if you take CBD with CBC, CBG, and CBN. So now you're probably asking, well, where on earth do I get all four of those? The problem now is solved. CBX4 contains high levels, not trace levels, and this is very important, contains high levels of all four of these cannabinoids, which means every benefit we listed up until now is available to you naturally in CBX4 and only in CBX4.
Pure Medical Equipment provides top-notch quality medical supply equipment. Whether to rent or buy, Pure Medical Equipment and Supplies has it all.
Pure Medical Equipment is committed to serve and give back to Southern Nevada.
We deliver medical supplies and rentals to your door.
Philippines wishing for a peaceful talks after violent clash in the West Philippine Sea. The Philippines is eyeing talks with China to discuss a violent clash last week between their sailors in the West Philippine Sea and Foreign Secretary Enrique Manalo said on Tuesday. Chinese Coast Guard personnel wielding knives, sticks, and axe foiled at June 17 Filipino Navy attempt to resupply Marines stationed on a derelict warship that sits atop Second Thomas Shoal. It was the latest and more serious incident in a series of escalating confrontations between Chinese and Philippine ships in the recent months as Beijing steps up effort to push its claim to nearly all of the strategically located waterway. Manila hopes to convene the Philippines-China bilateral consultation mechanism on the South China Sea in early July, specifically to discuss the recent incidents. Manal told the Philippine Senate public hearing on the confrontation. We still believe the primacy of dialogue and diplomacy should prevail even in the face of these serious incidents. Though I admit it is also a challenge, Manalo said. A Filipino soldier lost finger in the clash with Manila, also accusing the Chinese Coast Guard of looting guns and damaging 3 boats, as well as navigational and communication equipment. Beijing insisted its Coast Guard behaved in a professional and restrained way and blamed Manila for the clash. In previous confrontation, China's forces have used water cannons and military-grade lasers and collided with Filipino resupply vessels and their escorts. The two countries launched the consultative mechanism in 2017 to promote peaceful management of conflicts in the South China Sea. Mayor Alice Guo's suspension appeal rejected by the Ombudsman. The Office of the Ombudsman has denied the appeal of Bamban Tarlac Mayor Alice Guo and 2 other local government officials to lift their preventive suspension. The Ombudsman imposed preventive suspensions on May 31 for Guo and others allegedly linked to the Philippine offshore gaming operator in the area. It is well to stress that a preventive suspension is not a penalty but is merely preventive measure, a preliminary step in the administration's investigation. That purpose thereof is to prevent the accused from using his position and the powers and prerogative of his office to influence potential witnesses or to tamper with records which may be vital in the prosecution of the case against him. Aside from Guo, the other respondents include local officials Edwin Ocampo and Aden Sigua. The preventive suspension was ordered following in the draft charges filed by the Department of Interior Local Government on May 24 against Mayor for issuing permits to Hongsheng Gaming Technology Incorporated. According to the DILG's complaint, Guo and the officials allowed the issuance of a permit Hongsheng despite is failing to meet the needed requirements. Neo returning to the Manila in 2024 for Champagne and Roses tour. Award-winning R&B singer Neo is coming back to the Philippines this October for his Champagne and Roses tour. Concert promoter Will Bros Live announced Neo will make his Manila comeback on October 8 in Araneta Coliseum.
Pure Medical Equipment provides top-notch quality medical supply equipment. Whether to rent or buy, Pure Medical Equipment and Supplies has it all.
Pure Medical Equipment is committed to serve and give back to Southern Nevada.
We deliver medical supplies and rentals to your door.
We are the Philippines. We are land and sea. We are 7,107 islands. We are island people in a vast archipelago divided by the last ice age. We are one nation, yet a diverse people. We think in different ways. We speak in many voices. We dream in many worlds. We live many lives, all alluring, for we are naturally beautiful. We are tropical, we are warm, of heart, of greeting, of climate. We are mountainous, we are volcanic, we have volcanoes within volcanoes, and the most perfect cone. We are wet all around, we are wet underground. And when the typhoons blow, we are wet all over. Never far from a waterfall, never distant from a beach. Everywhere our soothing waters beckon. We are lush, we are fertile, we are prolific, multifarious, biologically diverse. 10 times more, so they say, than the Galapagos itself. We have the smallest primate, the smallest carabao, the smallest fish. We have the largest fruit, the largest flower, the largest raptor, the majestic Philippine eagle, and other rare finds, the dugong, the cloud rat, grass owls, civet cats that deliver a wild flavored coffee, hundreds of species of birds and insects, thousands of species of fish and shells, and there, gleaming in the center of the Sulu Sea, the Tubataha Reef, a World Heritage Site, only one of many others in these sun-kissed islands. And here we are, its people, the Filipinos. Who love to eat, who love to drink, who love to do nothing, who love to be ourselves. We sing a lot. We dance a lot. We talk a lot. We love a lot. We love a good laugh, and we do laugh a good lot. We laugh at each other, we laugh at ourselves. We celebrate life with raised glass, on bended knee, with innocence, with passion, with grace. We are 7,107 islands. Incredible, irresistible, unforgettable. We are the Philippines.
Makati gives free chemotherapy sessions to nearly 9,000 patients. The local government of Makati City on Tuesday said it has provided free chemotherapy sessions to 8,900 patients since 2020. According to Makati Mayor Abigail Binay, Makati Yellow Card holders do not need to pay anything for these chemo sessions. We aim to ensure that every Makatizen receives the health care they need without worrying about the cost. We are here to support our residents in their fight against cancer, Binay said. Chemo is more expensive than dialysis because the type of medicine needed varies patient to patient. We have patients with bills over 130,000 for a single session, and PhilHealth only covers a maximum of 7,280. Most cancer patients cannot afford that, but Yellow Card holders pay absolutely nothing, she added. Department of Agriculture to recommend raising rice tariff if prices drop to 42 to 45 peso per kilo. Agriculture Secretary Francisco Tiu Laurel Jr. on the Tuesday said that the department would recommend raising the tariff rate for rice imports should retail rice prices go down significantly in the time with its periodic review in the next 4 months. At a news forum in Taguig City, Laurel floated the idea of raising the rice import tariff rate, reduced to 15% from 35% until 2028 under Executive Order Number 62 if conditions were favorable. The Agriculture Chief said EO 62 mandated a periodic review of the tariff rates every 4 months upon the order's effectivity by July 6. The review will suffice to make sure that in case when the prices go down and the consumers are happy, then maybe we can raise the tariff rates again, he said. So just by the time November, we believe world prices have gone down by the time India is expected to lift its export ban on rice. Earthquake jolts parts of Iloilo and Surigao del Sur. Parts of Iloilo and Surigao del Sur were jolted by the earthquakes on Tuesday morning. The State Seismology Bureau said the Philippines Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, a magnitude 4.2 earthquake struck a water east of Hinatuan, Surigao del Sur at 6:35 a.m. PIVOG said the tectonic earthquake had a depth of focus of 42 kilometers and it was an aftershock of the magnitude 7.4 earthquake in Surigao del Sur in December 2023. No damage or aftershocks are expected. Meanwhile, a magnitude 4 earthquake was recorded east of the Maasin, Iloilo at 9:50 a.m. Former Senator Leila De Lima cleared of all drug charges. Leila De Lima, former senator and Philippine opposition figure, has now been cleared of all drug charges filed against her during the term of her nemesis, former President Rodrigo Duterte. Muntinlupa City Regional Trial Court, RTC Branch 206 on Monday, June 24, cleared De Lima of the third and last charge of conspiracy to commit drug trading. This is the same court that granted her bail in November 2023 and set her free after almost 7 years in detention. Branch 206 presiding judge Hiner Hito granted De Lima's demurrer to evidence. A demurrer to evidence is filed by the defense when they are confident that the prosecution's presentation of evidence was weak enough that they don't have to present their own. It is filed after the prosecution's presentation and has the effect of motion for an outright dismissal. Since the granting of the bail in November, when Hito said that there was no sufficient proof to show conspiracy, and with the confidence from the acquittals of the first two drug charges, De Lima and her lawyers had always meant to file a demurrer instead of taking the last case to a full trial. And that was our news for this week. For more news and updates, follow us at our social media platforms. I'm Ed Abalos and you're watching the Pilipinas Update here on FilAmTV. Thank you and have a great weekend.
Thank you for tuning in to Pilipinas Update on FilAmTV Network with Ed Abalos reporting from Manila, Philippines. We've delved into the dynamic stories and updates strengthening our ties to our heritage and community. I'm Esmeralda Padilla-Gould from Las Vegas, Nevada, urging you to stay connected, stay inspired, and remain proud of our Filipino heritage, no matter where you are in the world. Thank you for being a part of our FilAmTV Network community. Maraming salamat po and mabuhay.